Hello everyone, my name is Jini Thomas and I'm an assistant professor in social work at Don Bosco Arts and Science College. Today, we are going to learn about the models of social casework. Now, what do you mean by model? Model is basically an intervention method that can be used to solve the problems of the clients who are facing struggles. The first model is cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy focuses on how thoughts and feelings influence behaviors, which can sometimes lead to psychological problems. Social workers can use this method to help individuals identify self-destructive thoughts that can influence negative emotions and behavior. So this therapy is often used for individuals who are expressing mental health issues, mental illness or depression resulting from crisis or trauma. Social workers use this therapy to help their clients eliminate negative thoughts to prevent destructive behaviors and adverse outcomes. So during the floods or during the landslide that recently happened in Kerala, even though the landslide happened, even after weeks of it happening, the people were still feeling that trauma. They were still scared that it would happen again, or they would have sudden nightmares at night during their sleep and they would wake up suddenly and that trauma would continue. So this therapy is very useful where the social workers can implement this therapy and help them overcome these negative emotions and thoughts. Next is the crisis intervention model. So this was propounded by Albert R. Roberts and Alan J. Ottens. So they developed a 7-stage crisis intervention model for clients who are experiencing crisis and trauma, such as victims of sexual abuse, domestic violence, and for clients who require intervention to prevent physical harm or suicide. So the 7 steps are: take a psychosocial and lethality assessment. Psychosocial is nothing but the person's surroundings, the person's environment. It could be the family, the people that they are very close to, the religious structure, the social systems that they are related to. So take a psychosocial and lethality assessment. Second step is to rapidly establish rapport. Third step is to identify the major crisis causes. Fourth step is enable the client to express their feelings and emotion. And the fifth one is generate and explore safe alternatives for coping, create an action plan. And the 7th one is follow up after the intervention. So the social workers can use this for clients who are experiencing thoughts of suicide or self-harm, or they may be victims of rape and violence. Next is narrative therapy. This is a very interesting therapy where the process of helping the individual recognizes that they have the power to change their life story. So here the social worker believes that the client himself has the power to change their story. So the narrative story helps individuals realize that they are separate from their problems and they can fix when they view the narrative from an outside perspective. So the client is asked to narrate their problem like from a third perspective, not from their view, but as a story to tell about their problems. So the social worker enables individual to understand how the broader context is contributing to their narrative so that they can be aware of pitfalls to avoid such mistakes again and give them various strategies to tackle their problems. Then the next model is the problem solving model. This is propounded by Helen Harris Perlman. She was one of the greatest pioneers of social casework. So she developed the 4 P's. The first P is the person who has a problem, and the third one is the place. The place is the social welfare agency, or the place that they go for help. And the fourth one is the process. Process is basically the intervention method that the caseworker is going to use on the client. Now the problem solving loop or the ways on how to solve the problem is: the first one to, of course, identify the problem. The second one is to explore the information and create ways to cope with this problem. And after creating different, there might be different alternates to the to solving the problem. Now we are going to select the best alternate. Then the next step is to build and test this alternate. And the last step is to evaluate the results, and then we go ahead and terminate and follow up on the client. The next model is solution focused therapy. Solution focused therapy involves the social worker and the client identify the problem and create the solution based on the individual strength. So here the basic focus is not on completely changing the individual, but on helping the individual change their response in certain situations so that they can achieve more and overcome their obstacles. Next is task-centered practice. So using this task-centered approach, the social worker breaks down a problem into manageable tasks. The individual has deadlines to complete the task and agrees to meet them. So task-centered practice is a goal-setting form of social work that helps individuals make consistent steps towards getting their problems solved. So thank you very much. Hope you understood the class.